Hey, listen up. We got another episode of Wise Kracks, featuring the crack man himself, Bill Krackenberger, and our co-host, Jon Orlando, straight from Las Vegas. Wise Kracks is your ticket inside the world of sports betting, with tips, picks, special guests, and more. Only on WSN.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another week of Wise Kracks. I'm Jon Orlando. I have Bill Krackenberger with me, and there's a lot to talk about. You sent me a text about the Manny Pacquiao fight.
Yeah.
Do you want to get right into that?
Boy. I have one of those days that I really don't have too much, but a lot of gamblers will understand. So you ever get up the next morning and say, did that really happen?
Yeah. Almost every time I gamble.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I had one of those moments on Sunday because, I originally bet a lot of money on Spence over Pacquiao.
What was the line on that?
I laid 190, 195, and 200.
Okay.
And it was, by the way, backwards. I laid 2-1, then I laid 196, actually, and then minus 190. And it kept on dropping, the fight. And I just, I know Spence is that much better than Pacquiao. He's much younger. He's hungrier. He's in the top 10 pound-for-pound fighters in the world.
And Manny's old now.
Manny's old now. He proved it the other night, too. So I bet a 5-figure bet on it, posted the ticket on Twitter. The only reason why I did, because I posted this is going to be, I sent out to my Crack Wins guys, this is going to be a big fight for us. And then I actually made it bet a few more times. So I had probably around 15,000 on the fight. Right. I don't really like to talk about numbers too much. It's relevant to everyone's bankroll. So then Spence gets injured. He has a cut on a cornea or some kind of an eye cut. And then he canceled the fight. And surprisingly, it was only 2.5 weeks before the fight, 3 weeks. They had a sub, someone that was on an undercard, Ugas, who's very, very good. They had him come in and sub for the fight, and he was 3.5 to 1 underdog. Right away, my buddy called me because Pacquiao went from being a 2 to 1 dog to being a 3.5 to 1 favorite. And right away, my buddy called me up and said, "Hey, this guy's a live dog. He shouldn't be 3.5 to 1. I mean, yeah, Pacquiao should win, but he shouldn't be a 3.5 to 1 favorite." So I said, "Okay, good. I'll bet something, maybe like a nickel or something on the dog there, maybe a little more, depending on. Let's see where the odds go." And then the night before the fight, I get a text from someone I really respect in the boxing game that says, "Hey, there's an injury to Ugas. He has a bicep injury, a tear or something. He's favoring it real big. You've seen it in the weigh-in. It's he's probably just going in there to get a paycheck, and it'll be over quick." So I said, "Oh, wow, that's good information." Right. And then but I still am not going to bet a lot on it because it's just where it comes from. This guy's in the boxing game, but I don't know if he was at the weigh-in. He's not really, and it's not like Teddy or someone told me.
Right.
It's a guy that told me. So I get it from him, and then an hour later, a second guy who was a hand doctor here in town, he texts me and says, "Hey," and these guys don't know each other. The other guy's a boxing promoter in the boxing promotion field. Not promoting that fight, but he's a boxing. He works for a promoting company, I should say.
Yep.
So this guy's a doctor, and this guy seems like everything he gives me is lights out. Everything is great that he gives me. So now he says, "Hey, injury in this fight. This is going to be a very big bet of mine on Pacquiao because of this." I said, "Wow, now I got to bet because I won a lot of money betting what this guy says." So I go all around town. I lay the best prices at circa 305, 315. I lay the best prices there is to lay, and I bet a lot of money, a lot. I'm not even going to say the amount. It's an embarrassing amount of money. Not embarrassing, but I bet more than I bet on the other way. So
really,
yes, of course.
Right.
This is like the closest thing to what you want to say is
free money,
a lock.
Right.
I hate to use that word.
Right.
But so
because it's a lock based on the information you're
and
getting.
This guy that gave me the information is probably giving me like 75% stuff. He doesn't give me stuff much, but he's probably giving me like 20 things, and he was 15-5 or something like that. I mean, literally, maybe even more. He had a streak one time where he gave me like 8 college basketball games in a row. He's really, really good at stuff he gives me. So right away, I go out. I go around town getting the best price I can get, and bet a lot of money on it. And I didn't see the fight. I actually went to see Sebastian Maniscalco and went to a comedy show instead.
Oh my God, he's my favorite. I didn't even know he was in town.
I got that's another thing. So tickets just fall in my lap. So I'm at the Wynn in the sports book.
Yeah.
And a guy comes walking by that I know. He goes, "Hey, Crack, what's going on?" I said, "Nothing much. What's going on with you?" He goes, "No, I'm going to go see the Sebastian show." I said, "Why? He's here? I didn't even know he was there."
Me neither.
Because I love him. I'm not a stand-up comedy guy that much, though. It's very hard to get me to laugh at stand-up comedians.
He's so
good. Situational comedy about things in life and real things.
Yeah.
I like that kind of comedy.
Yeah.
So I said, I said, "Oh, wow, really cool." So I just texted my host, and he's like, I'll get you. It's sold out. It's been sold out since the beginning, but I'll get you 2 tickets." I said, "Oh, great." So anyway, I went to go see him. Didn't watch the fight, and Sebastian was great. I had great 3rd row seats right in front and center. He was great. He's the best. He's the best. Talks about things that are so good.
His rhythm, everything.
Oh man, he's just so good. He talked about COVID and getting the vaccine. He was funny. That the one thing I picked away, because I watch a lot of his little segments on Twitter.
Yeah.
On not Twitter, on YouTube.
Oh.
And he goes, being Italian. He goes, "I had to get this shot." He goes, "I'm not losing my taste of food." But the way he delivered it, he goes, "Listen, I get sick of sniffles all over that. That's fine. But losing my taste of food, being Italian, forget about that." But the way he delivered it, though, he's great. Some of the greatest skits of all time, I think, have come from him about. And they're all related to Vegas. The pool scene when the guys go to the pool and yelling and screaming. Yeah. And then they're going to the gas stations at night, which I don't do. I don't like going to gas stations at night in Vegas. Very dangerous. Yeah. So going to gas stations at midnight, having to go in the death hut, he calls it. Just the things he says, the murder, just to visualize where the murder's coming from. I mean, some of the things, he's the best comedian, stand-up comedian.
Good. I agree.
I love him. So I went to go see him instead of the fight.
I'm jealous.
So at least I got some laughs instead of watching the fight and getting some cry. I had tickets to the fight too, so I decided not to go to the fight. So I went to the Sebastian. I put Sebastian over the fight. Thank God I did. Anyway, come out of the fight and they said they're going to the decision, and my guy said it was terrible. He goes, Pacquiao was terrible. He looked old. He wasn't prepared. Yeah. Well, meanwhile, I got like my buddy Jerry Eisenberg, and I sat here and talked about this last week. Yep. Jerry Eisenberg having Pacquiao on Zoom saying how much great shape he's in. He looks unbelievable, Billy. He's going to be here. And I said, well, Jerry doesn't. He's a square. I can't go by him. As far as betting goes, he'd only admit that. So, but the thing that bothers me most is Spence would have destroyed this guy. Right. Spence would have destroyed Pacquiao. Right. If Ugas is beating
him, you were on the right side of it.
Spence would have destroyed him. Right. It would have absolutely, just like I thought. So it's bothersome to me that it's a giant 5-figure swing that happened. And I woke up Sunday saying, God, I can't believe it's terrible. Because it ate up my week. Even though I went 4-2 in preseason football, it just ate up my week.
And you were planning on betting against, you were going to take the live dog. I was
betting like a nickel on Ugas.
Right. Had you not gotten that information?
Oh God, information. That's why it reminds me of like the Jurassic Park, right? Let me tell you what.
I love it. Can't wait.
Remember like Dr. Malcolm, who was Jeff something, great Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum was phenomenal.
Great. He says that the guy tells him the dinosaurs are all made up of female. We genetically modify them that way, and he said that just life finds a way. And then they find the eggs out in the middle of Jurassic. I love Jurassic Park, as you could tell. Yeah. But it's the same thing with locks. Nothing is a lock because things just sometimes find a way to lose. Right. So nothing is a lock. Listen, this kind of info that a guy is injured from 2 different sources that don't know each other, and he has a shoulder injury, he's just going, the wording from the first person, he's just going there to get a paycheck. Right. Honestly, can't believe I didn't lose more. I can't believe I didn't lose more. Honestly, if I text you, Jon Orlando, say, John, if I send you a copy of it, are you going out and betting $3,000 on
100%.
Right?
If you text me, of course.
Now, I'm smart enough not to text any of my friends or tell anyone anything because
you'd rather not have it on your head?
I'd rather take the loss myself.
Right.
Or the win, which I'm usually winning, but I just don't want to hear it from anyone because what happens is I'll feel worse giving it to someone else.
Right.
So I just basically I didn't give it out to Crack Wins guys, thank God.
Right.
I didn't give it out to none of my friends. I just I just took it in and lost my money like a man. And maybe it's not like a man. I'm crying a little bit Monday morning.
Well, I can get it back for you, but I'm afraid to tell you. I'm afraid to tell you because
Okay.
I have the guy for the UFC this Saturday. I have the guy in the main event.
Wow, let's see the odds. Hold on.
I have the guy, Bill.
All right.
You can get it all back.
Is this weekend the one at Florida, Hollywood, Florida?
No.
Oh, that's PFL. What is that? Premier Fight League? What is that? It's a guess. All right, that's I never heard of these guys. Oh, that's okay. Oh, wait a minute. Is it the Factory in St. Louis? Is that
No,
that's
it's
LFA?
here.
That's not it either.
Yeah. It's
Wow,
here.
and that's the top. Why would that be the top fights?
Because those are
odds-wise?
Friday, I think.
Oh, they're before that.
Yeah.
Okay. I found it.
Yep.
At the UFC Apex.
Yep.
Where I can literally hit a golf ball from here.
Yep.
Where we're at.
Literally right here.
Literally
Yep.
right here, I can hit a golf ball,
Yep.
maybe even like a 5-iron, and nail the ring.
Never mind that. You could throw a sandwich.
So it's here. Why,
Yeah.
why would it be here at the Apex? How do they make money on that compared to having it at one of the one of the arenas here?
It's a smaller fight. It's not a huge card.
Okay, I know Edison Barboza.
No, that's not the guy that's going to win.
Oh.
Giga Chikadze. Giga Chikadze.
Oh, a dog.
By the way, he is?
Yeah, he's taking 106 at one of the first sports book I look at. Plus 106.
Wow. It moved.
Yeah, plus 106, plus 105 at the Mirage. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. He's undefeated in the UFC. He was a kickboxer prior to the UFC with Glory Kickboxing. He was a champ over there. He was like 56-4 as a kickboxer.
Okay.
He's phenomenal.
Wow. I may bet him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I usually don't follow nothing you say.
All right.
You've taken down more people than many diseases. Yeah. COVID has nothing on you. But yeah, I may.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I may actually.
All right.
I don't know why. I just feel like betting them.
I like that.
Yeah. I usually don't do that.
I like that.
Yeah. So all right. So you have that. So anyway,
there you go.
That's what happened to me, and it was just. I just know I would have won a lot. Yeah, I would have won. I mean, come on. Spencer's definitely beating him.
Yeah.
If this guy's beating him.
Do you at least it came from a source that you've had a lot of success with, and like you just have to remind yourself of that part, right?
Yep. No, I have. I've had a lot of success with him.
And Manny just looked bad. I heard. I didn't watch the fight either, but my friend Matt is a cameraman, and so he was there.
Yeah.
And shooting the fight.
So much for Manny's camp putting out. We're in such great shape. Instead of us canceling the fight too,
right?
We want to fight. We're prepared for this fight.
Yeah.
Sounds like a money grab. Sorry, I know I love Manny and everything, and
I love
he's
Manny
a nice
too,
guy and everything.
It's probably time.
But
right?
Manny Pacquiao doesn't pay my bills. So.
No. This is business, never personal.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's move on to something that you had a good week. Preseason football.
Should have had a better week even. I had Pittsburgh Steelers. When I walked,
you were 14-3.
No.
Oh, that was the first week. Okay.
You were the 14-3 was the underdogs.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I went 4-2.
You went 4-2.
I walked into that show. I was at the Wynn Sportsbook, and the Steelers were winning 26-6 in like the start of the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. And I got out of the show, and the final score was 26-20. I think like onside kicks, and I laid 6 points. I got a push.
Oh my god!
So and when the line went to 7, close 7 everywhere. And I got a push on the game. So it just speaking of that though, now it's funny how they get the best of the lines. Yesterday, I literally, that was 2 days ago. I don't know when it was. I even sent it to the Crack Wins guys. I laid pick a -20. I laid 1 on Seattle in a preseason game that's now 6. So it's amazing. Again, game moving that 5 points. And I say to myself, people have asked me already. Crack Wins guys have asked me actually. Should we middle of the game and take the 6 on the Chargers? And I'm not doing it. I didn't get much down. It's hard to get a lot down. I want to send it to my guys. So it's hard to get a lot. Even if I got a lot down, and I'm betting on the right side of the game. That is the mathematical edge side. If you were to go to bet that game now, a pick -1 or even a one. Let's see. Just to get, I'm making a point here. That's why I'm saying it. So I have to lay $2.50 on the money line now, where I laid $1.20, or even let's say it's -1 would be $1.30, even $1.35, $1.40. So mathematically, we laid $1.40, and now it's $2.50. I am not going to get off of a good bet like that, or even get a percentage off, unless I overbet my bankroll, unless I actually know something that's going on the other side. Maybe there's an injury or weather or something that's going to make the game a lower scoring game, which would mean points are going to be at a premium. So I am not doing that. I am sticking with my side. And that just anyway. Just talking about lines. So Pittsburgh Steelers though we did get a push on that game. So
yeah, that's outstanding. Before we get into more football, we've got a surprise guest, Bill Krackenberger.
Yeah,
we've got a surprise guest that's going to join us.
Cool. Well, it's not really a surprise. We had him.
Well, it's not a surprise.
Yeah,
it's a surprise for the people because they don't know who it is.
Yeah,
we know.
Yes,
we know.
Excellent.
We're going to bring him on right now. All right, Bill, we're honored today not only with football royalty, but this is like a guy's guy royalty. This is the kind of guy you want to hang out with and watch a game with, drink a beer with, okay? He's that kind of guy. Not only did he play for 13 years with the 49ers and guard Joe Montana's bones, let's just say, he was also a world-class broadcaster and pitchman for Miller Lite. You remember all those campaigns, taste great, less filling.
Man, I got to see it. It was great.
He's a member of the College Football Hall of Fame. This guy's stats are ridiculous, okay? 3-time first team All-Pro in 81, 84, and 85. He's played in the Pro Bowl. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion. What else is there to say?
How about this? How about 13-year career, only missed 8 games?
Almost. That's impossible. That'll never be beat.
Oh,
yeah, as a center, right? I mean,
that's
come
crazy.
on. No chance.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, let's give a big welcome to Mr. Randy Cross joining us on Wise Kracks. Hey, Randy.
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Hey, are they facts, Randy? We have some good numbers there. I mean, 8 games in 13 years?
Yeah. I missed one game. I blew my knee out in the last game of the season in 85. And then I missed half a year because I broke my ankle. My 3rd year.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, 8 games was pretty fun. It was a great time being available. That's why I tell people all the time that that's the most important ability for an NFL player is availability. You got to be there to be able to play, and teams have no patience for that.
Randy, I've got a question for you. Sports betting has been, legalized in many, many states across the country. The networks post the spread, and this is the thing when it comes to sports betting. The announcers back, when I was younger watching football, they would dance around it when they were calling games. They wouldn't really talk about the spread that much. My question to you is, when you call games, were you aware of the spread, or did the network tell you, hey, shy away from it, don't talk about it? Did you know, when a big upset was happening on the sports betting side of stuff? Is that something you were aware of?
Well, being a guy that followed the game as closely as I did, I didn't need to see the line to know it was an upset, for one thing. It's something you always see. You're inundated with it. Anybody that tells you they don't know it's around, well, they're lying. You've got to notice it. But I did NFL for 20 years, and I've now done college football for about 10 or 12. And it's something that's a very, I guess, vital part of the sports world. But not everybody wants to recognize it. Not everybody really indulges in it, to put it lightly. I don't know. I've always kind of taken the approach that it's another form of entertainment.
Yeah,
for people, and it's every bit as entertaining for everybody, for people, as it is going to a Broadway show at times. So
sure,
yeah, I've been aware of it.
Do you yourself ever take any action on the games? Do you bet on any games ever?
No. I found out a long, long time ago. I love winning. I hate losing. And every time I go to your fine city there out in the desert, they get a big enough piece of my backside at some of those tables that it usually cures me for any kind of gambling at all.
Very good. Very good.
Well, next time you're out here, you're going to have to look us up, and we'll have to give you a little blackjack card counting lesson and so a little tap tap on the shoulder when to bet more. I'll get you banned from every casino in town. Don't worry.
Which will save you money in the long run. You know.
Where do you live, Randy? Where are you at, out in California?
I live outside of Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta. Okay. Okay, cool.
Been there since about 92.
So are you broadcasting now? I have someone in my building. I live in a high rise, and I met an ESPN guy just yesterday, and he was saying that he's actually broadcasting for ESPN the college games from the building, from the high rise. He's going to have a setup there. He wasn't going to the games. He goes, "Oh, just got taken away from us. They changed our schedule around. I was supposed to go around the country, and now I'm actually broadcasting from the building." Are you broadcasting from Atlanta too?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay.
I do.
Wow.
No, from home? No.
Oh, okay. You go to a studio?
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Oh, you are? Okay.
We'll physically be on site for the game.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the way I always thought it was done.
Till told otherwise.
Okay, cool. All right, now let's. Now I have a question for you. So anyway, as we know, football is back. Decades as being a player, then a broadcaster. My first question is pretty simple. The NFL is bigger than ever. It's safer, more wide open. The question is: it better now than it was back when you played? So many years invested in the game. Like, is it safer now, do you think, because of all the protocols they have? Or do you like just playing hardcore football? You have to worry about now on defense. I know you're on offense, but on defense you have to worry, don't touch this person the wrong way, don't hit him this way. Or do you think it was actually a little bit better? Obviously, it probably is safer now, but do you think it's the same game that you played back then?
I think it's fairly different. Because it's safer, because they did address a lot of the rules and adjusted it for the safety, not only for the quarterbacks, but for everybody else. And I think it's smart. The guys are, I mean, let's put it this way. I retired. I'm 6'3". I was 290 pounds for my last game, which was Super Bowl 23.
Wow.
And 290 pounds right now, would be pretty light.
Wow,
so crazy.
That's so crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
By about 15, 20 pounds from what most guys are, at least at that position. Tackles, I mean, just take a look at some of the programs. You know, the guy that one of the more amazing players out there right now is Aaron Donald, because he isn't a remarkably huge person, but goodness knows most people around him, especially across the line of scrimmage, are considerably bigger. So they've made the game much safer. It's totally different. It's played much more on your feet. And in general, I think it's faster. And, you know, I guess it's better. There's definitely, it's an offensive game.
Right.
I'd be interested to see some of those great Giants defenses and the 85 Bears and those kind of teams, how they would sort of function against these styles of offense. Because these offenses, I mean, this is like Star Wars.
Sure. Hey, you ever keep any contact and with all your old players that you played with back then? Are you still friends with a lot of the guys on the team, or maybe the coaches, the owners, or anything like that?
Yeah, some.
Cool.
Eddie DeBartolo, you know, has some events.
He's down in Florida, right?
Yeah, either down in Tampa, up in Montana, and we'll get together there and see some of the guys that way.
Nice.
But, you know, everyone sort of separates and goes right about their lives. I didn't stay in the Bay Area. I moved out of the Bay Area in '92, so you know that removed me from a lot of those guys. But it's great still having that association.
Nice.
How does your body feel today? Like when you wake up every day, do you feel like you played a huge NFL career? Do you have aches and pains like your knees or your back, or are you in fairly good shape?
You look like you're
still?
in great shape.
Yeah, you look like you're in great shape. That's why I ask.
Relatively speaking, yeah. I mean, I've replaced both my shoulders.
Oh wow!
And I mean, like replaced, like metal on both sides, which is kind of unusual. I don't suggest doing it. It's not very pleasant, and it's got a hellacious rehab on it. But I'm doing pretty good. I feel decent.
That's great.
I'm officially what I used to refer to as a really old man.
No.
And thank God it doesn't feel that old. But yeah, I mean, I'm in my let's say I'm on the backside of 60. So
really,
wow.
See how that goes,
dude.
That's unbelievable. I mean, I would give you like $25,000 for your hair.
Yeah, really.
Wow.
I hear that a lot.
The backside of 60. I just don't see that. I remember Randy Cross playing football a couple of years ago.
Right.
What do you mean?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Very cool. But, okay, I have another one for you here. So more than any other position in football, all they do is talk about quarterbacks everywhere. ESPN, they kind of rule the world, according to these big guys. They get the giant contracts and the country's biggest stars, really. So you lined up in front of arguably the best quarterback of if not the greatest of all time, I mean, one of the greatest, Joe Montana. So tell us something the public didn't see. What was it about Joe that made him who he was? Any kind of, was he cool? Was he a good guy? What else about Joe? Maybe we don't know.
Well, a couple things. One, he was as cool and sort of non-pulsed as you would think. It was hard to get. He's one of those rare athletes, and we see them about generationally, whether it's Jordan or Gretzky or, now with Brady and whatnot, where they seem to, their pulse kind of drops as the situation gets tenser. So as things got more intense, he got more relaxed. And that's just sort of the way he worked.
Wow. So he was good on the pressure.
He was a hell of a basketball player, a really, really good athlete. Cool. Great guy.
Good.
And, he's paying the price now. I'm sure he feels all those shots he took.
Right. I was on ESPN with Kenny Mayne. I'm up there doing a SportsCenter clip. And Kenny gets a text from Joe Montana. And, of course, I don't know Joe. I've never met him or anything. He gets a text from Montana. He said, wow, that guy was great. And we were just talking about sports betting. I'm like, wow, Joe Montana actually just said I was great on TV. And Joe's like the ultimate. I was a senior in high school. It's like, sure. Joe Montana was the best. So that's pretty cool. Good stuff.
Well, Randy, while we're talking about Joe, obviously you played with him for a long time. Let's have you settle the long running debate. Who's the GOAT? Is it Brady or Montana?
Yeah, I'm never going against my guy.
Awesome. You're a team player.
I did Tom's first 10 years of preseason. I did the Patriots preseason games for 10 years. And so I saw him every summer for a decade. Amazing artist. Let's put it that way. That's the only way to describe guys that play the position like he and Joe did or do. His stats, people go with more is better. I'm more of I like zeros. Joe was 4-0 in Super Bowls. Joe threw 11 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Wow.
And that's a couple of zeros, I could hang my proverbial hat on, or in this case, a few rings on.
Yep.
Sure.
So I will always go with Joe.
Awesome. Growing up in the 80s myself, there was no better ad campaign than those Miller Lite ads. I love those ads to begin with. I go back and look at them on YouTube all the time. Especially I seen yours, and I was like, "Wow, this is fantastic!" So we watched it before the show. You don't get recognized until you bend over, and it was just so cool. What was that like back then? Was that like I don't know if that would even make it on air today. Actually, that's everyone's so sensitive about things. So your memories of doing those ads was pretty cool. Yeah, they're classics.
It was so much fun. It was ridiculous. They did two things. They raised my profile pretty significantly from an offensive lineman, which was kind of the whole gist of that ad. But what they did do was the director of those, the guy who did all those, the Miller Lite All-Stars and all those, was a guy named Bob Girardi. And we were at this place. It was a bar just outside of Marina Del Rey. And we were doing that ad, and I'm standing behind him, looking over his shoulder, and I'm looking at one of the takes. and I see the font, and it says Randy Cross, All-Pro Center. And I looked at him. I said, not for nothing. You guys are paying me a decent amount of money, so I can't complain. But I was never an All-Pro center. I said I was All-Pro quite a few times at guard. I was All NFC a few times at center and at guard, but I was never an All-Pro center. And his head whips around. He looks over at the advertising agency guy, and the guy kind of shrugs at him. He looks back at me and he goes, well, look, were you All-Pro? I said, yeah, at guard. He goes, did you play center? I said, yeah, I played center. I played center 4 years, and I played guard 9. And he goes, oh, okay. Well, you were an All-Pro and you were a center, so that's right. You were an All-Pro center. But because of that ad, most people assume I played center my whole career.
Right.
Wow.
Which wasn't even close.
The power of TV back then.
Welcome to showbiz.
Yeah. But it was a very cool thing. And what isn't brought up quite as often is all the All-Star ads I got to do.
Oh, cool.
And that meant you did commercials with Euchre and Madden and Bubba Smith and Ben Davidson, and go down this whole list of pretty remarkable, Dick Butkus.
Oh, wow. You were with some of the greatest names of all time. Jesus.
Yeah, it was unbelievable to sort of be with this whole group and sort of pretend you belong.
Wow, what a career! What a career! What are you doing now? So tell all our guys what you're doing now. What do you do on the weekends? What are you doing now? Football season starting. Tell them where they can find you.
Well, non-football season. I play a little golf.
Cool.
Do a little barbecue.
Nice.
I love cooking.
Nice.
But I do. I work with CBS Sports Network. I do college football. I do Navy home games, and then a mix of American and Mountain West.
Nice.
I do get to Vegas and Reno and,
yep.
Parts west, San Jose State and San Diego State and Boise and some of those places. And on Tuesday nights, I'm on a show that's called Inside College Football, which is a preview and a review. It's a 2-hour show, and we just sort of show what happened and what's going to happen. And it's been fantastic. I'm lucky to still be doing it.
Good for you.
It's a lot of fun to still be around the game.
Well, you should be. You're a legendary guy, and we appreciate having you. I'm so happy that we follow each other on Twitter. You have a great Twitter feed. We're going to promote that. We're going to promote this episode, and we really appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us, Randy.
Thank you.
No problem. A lot of fun.
Great.
Randy Cross, everybody.
Cross. Thanks, Randy. Really appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, take care, buddy.
It's good stuff.
That was great.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Fantastic.
Can you imagine? Warren Moon played something like 20 years, never made it to the Super Bowl, never won a Super Bowl. I don't even know if he even played in a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And this guy's got 3 rings.
Yeah. Does he have 3? I was saying, no, he said he had a couple.
Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
It's incredible, right?
What a good guy, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were worried about him not getting a hold of me. I sent an email to him, and here he just called right in.
Yeah. I knew he would.
Yeah, you guys said that.
Yeah.
You guys said he'll be fine.
Yeah. That was good stuff. Listen, we've kind of went out a different sequence this show, but I'd like to remind everyone that they need to download the Crack Wins app. Okay, it's on Apple, it's on Google Play. You can go to crackwins.com. You're having a good year.
Well, lots of stuff happened.
Your year as a whole has been one of your best, I want to say.
That's one of the things that all these guys that are in this business talk about, only what they've done lately. If it's good. If it's not good, they're not even telling you that.
Right.
How have you done the last week, the last 2 weeks, and maybe even some of them say how they've done since All-Star break or something. I want to know what you've done for the year.
Yeah.
I want to know what you've done since you started handicapping and giving out games and putting your own money up. That's one thing. It's amazing, John, how much of the sports betting media, they don't make a living betting sports.
Right.
They make a living getting paid from a network to say these things.
Right.
They don't make a living.
They don't put their money where their mouth is.
I got to be real blunt with you. I hate to say I'm the only one. I don't want to, I'm usually pretty humble. Don't talk like that. But I can't offhand think of anyone that makes a living betting sports that has a show or that talks about it or that goes on shows every week.
Right.
I have to say it like myself.
They don't take the risk, right? They don't. They take the paycheck.
But they talk about a lot of them talk like they're big bettors and whale handicappers, and they talk about their these big things. But
it's also easy to say, bet the dog, and not put the money on the dog, right? It's real easy to say that, and then I told you.
Yeah.
Right? It's easy to do that. It's another thing to put the money up.
No, listen, like I said, I come on here and tell you I bet, 5 figures on something I lost. I'm very transparent. But anyway, Crack wins. Let's go back to us.
Yeah.
Having a good season, 4-2 this week in the preseason football. Like I said, terrible push we got in the fourth quarter with onside kicks with the Steelers. College football coming up. This weekend opens college football. So Crack Wins gave out a game. It was +7. I think that I'm giving out the right line here. +7, and it's moved. I'm sorry, -7. It's UTEP. So UTEP -7, and it's moved to -10. Which is great. You get closing line value, so you're going to get that kind of line value, and which means you're going to win in the end. Whoever has when the game tips off, whether it be basketball or kicks off in football, you can guarantee if you have the best of the line over the long haul, you're going to have the best of your pocketbook full of money, your pocket full of money. So, So anyway, we're doing good, having a good season, and look forward to. We got a lot of stuff happening too. Literally, college football, pro football props, preseason next weekend, but pro football props coming up. Looking forward to that. We do a lot of stuff on totals, some futures on WNBA, college football, the golf. The list goes on and on.
Let's talk about. You mentioned college football. Starting up. There were some notes that we had here before we started the show. The bookmakers or the line makers have to cover over 200 teams when they're dealing with college football?
Well, in general, that's why I wrote that up. Unlike an NFL where you have to you have to do 30-some teams, it's not like that with when it comes to college football season. Now you have 200 teams that are lined, that you have to come up with a line for 100 games a week. And then you have to come up with golf matchups. You have to come up with whatever, NASCAR, UFC lines. Just think of the job of a bookmaker, of an originating bookmaker, by the way, I should say. People think that all these sports books put up their own lines. No. It's 1 or 2 bookmakers that put up on a line. And everyone copies the line. Right. I honestly don't know why you have to pay anyone more than $12 to $15 an hour that works the desk. Handling lines.
There's 2 places to go to, and then just follow them.
Yeah, just follow when that line moves. You move the line. When that line moves, you move the line. Now there's a risk involved. Now that's not the way I would book though. Right. I'm booking on risk. Right. There's a risk to that, and the risk department should get paid more. I'm not saying that, and trust me, I'm all for the casino employees. Offshore sportsbook guys, 25 years ago, were getting paid $100,000 a year. There's hardly anyone in the industry in these brick and mortar sweatshops. Let's call them what they are. Most of them that get paid nothing like that. So anyway, I'm all for the employees. But what I was going back to say is that they have to get the lines right, the originating bookmakers, on all this stuff, and they just can't. Mm-hmm. So. When people are looking at these giant name games, these Notre Dame and the big, believe it or not,
USC,
even though Notre Dame is not the team they once were, that's still one of the public college football teams. Right. So that it's
there's
like
action on those games. There's a lot of action.
Of course, it's the USC. It's all the big name teams.
Right.
That's not where my action goes a lot.
You want to find Ball
State. I'm betting on a lot of it.
Right?
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah. I said it on action. Maine. I'm looking at Maine on Saturday morning when people are looking at the USCs of the world.
Yeah, so. And that's where the opportunity is.
It is. Now, not to say I won't bet those big games. I'll do them, especially totals. But you want to look at the stuff that's not looked at more, that doesn't have a microscope or a magnifying glass on it more. I'm looking at stuff that you're able to bet on still, but doesn't have the information out there that the bookmakers get to see day in and day out.
You're essentially buying generic brand instead of name brand in some cases.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah. That's interesting. And then also I'd like to mention, of course, your morning ritual, WSN.com.
Yes, I have them up right in front of me now. I want to talk about their $600 weekly football contest.
Right.
So I'll tell you right now, go to WSN.com because not a lot of guys are in this right yet. So I don't think that's proper English, but hey, I'm a street guy from the Bronx. I could say that. Anyway, yeah. So you could get in that contest because it's really a weekly football contest there. Fantastic. And not only that, the articles, like John said, I go there a lot to read the articles. Fantastic articles. There's some on Futures, which is their front page article is on Futures. Week 1 predictions and bet picks odds. So many articles here compared to any other site that I know of, and they're good articles. They're in depth, and it's funny. So right away, I seen one of the articles today. It said Club Tijuana, but I didn't. My brain works like a man. I said, wow, they're talking about clubs in Tijuana? Wow, that's amazing. I mean, during COVID, you're going down to the Chicago club there?
Right.
What are you doing here?
Right.
No, it's actually Club Tijuana versus Monterrey prediction. So, but I seen that right away. But see where your mind goes being
Speaking
a man?
of Tijuana, have you been to Tijuana?
I was in Tijuana one time.
Me too.
You know, I'm a germphobe.
It's terrible.
Not my kind of thing.
No.
Not my kind of thing. So,
You were a germphobe before.
oh, I was
Right.
cleaning things on planes, and I wasn't wearing masks, but I was cleaning
Right.
things on planes, and people were looking at me like something's wrong with me. But this is the last 25 years. So,
Right.
Amazingly, I went down with my buddies to Tijuana. I don't even know, but they might have been going to get Viagra or something. I just ratted them out. This is like 20 years ago.
Right.
And, you know, I actually didn't go in, but did see, like, all the guys are going in this thing called the Chicago Club. It looks so cool. Guy with a fedora outside and you know, there's a cigar smoking. But again, that's just that germphobe thing. I just,
Right.
but
for you.
it was interesting going back across the border, though. It really was, hearing some of the stories and stuff, and you could see it. And I probably won't do it again. I probably won't even go to Mexico again.
Yeah. Cabo, maybe.
Maybe, but I have no interest in going there either. There's so much crime and stuff.
Right.
But you know,
Stay
anyway.
on U.S. soil.
Yeah, but anyway, going back to WSN. But
Yeah.
you're right, stay on US soil. WSN, great articles, great predictions on different things, and all. I always love the news, the U.S. sportsbook betting news, the different. You know, we have a situation here happening. Someone called me the other day. I didn't even know. Louisiana starts on Monday. So they're starting to have sports betting on Monday. So you'll find these articles, and it says Louisiana adopts the emergency sports betting rules starting Monday. Here it is right here. Someone talked about it, and it's right on there. So they're up to date on everything. The New York Mobile, there's another article on that. That's just a fiasco what's going on there. The governor, was for it. Now I don't know if they threw him out of office. I'm not a political guy. I don't watch but now, so I don't know what's happening there. I know one thing. New Jersey's profiting because New York is not on the ball and getting those sports bars. Right, you'll see any given Sunday or Saturday, you'll see the ferries are full of people coming across the Hudson, coming across the rivers, and going through the tunnels. Even though just driving over to New Jersey, pulling over, making their bets, and driving back to New York. So if they had it in New York, they could better write into sports bars. There would be themed sports bars. I'm sure, like the DraftKings, FanDuel, PointsBet, they would have their own sports bars in New York. So eventually it'll happen. Great articles on WSN. Make sure you check out the bonuses there. The $5,000 one's the lead-in bonus there for the Caesars bonus. It's right there on WSN. Again, WSN.com.
Beautifully said. Okay, before we get out of here, you've got 3 tips, guidelines for 3 big tips for betting college football. Do you want to get into that this week,
you know
or
what? No,
do you want to save it?
I'll probably do both weeks because there is games this weekend. Let's talk about it real quick. So teasers, never tease college football. I don't care who tells you why. There's no teasing in college football. You're laying $1.30, $40, $50 here in Vegas at some of these places. There's just no way. There's no games worth teasing in college football. Second, don't let the weather fool you. That's a big thing. I say that's even, it's a misconception. Rain means the under. That's also pro football, but college football too. It's no near it's so ridiculous when I see not even rain, snow.
Yeah.
And people say, under, you got to play under. It's a big advantage. Everything is the wind. Check the wind conditions. That's what's most important, not the rain and not the snow.
Does it also? Do you feel the same way in terms of if there's a team based in Chicago and they're playing LA and it's snowing, Chicago's got the edge because they're cold weather people. Do you buy into that or no?
The players come from all over the country that are playing for the teams gyms in California
Right.
too. So they can come from Chicago. And the players that are playing in Chicago may come from Florida. Who knows? So,
Right. Okay.
but I like when the line makers use that. And
Yeah,
skew
they do it all the
line.
time.
And they're not, the line makers aren't doing it. The public's doing it, making them move like that.
Right.
Correlated parlays. Yes, they do exist. I don't get a lot of chances to bet them.
Wait, I don't know. I don't know if I know what that is.
I'm going to tell you what it is.
Okay.
So let's say Team A is playing Team B, and Team A is giving 35 points in the game.
Yep.
Well, the first half they'll be giving 21, and the total may be 40, or whatever it may be. I'm sorry, the total in the game may be like 60, so it's going to be like 30. So if you bet correlated first half minus 21 and over 30, it correlates. If one gets there, the other should get there. If the
Right.
favorite wins, it's going to go over in all. It probably is going to go over. I mean, it could be 24-0, but chances are it's going to be 34-6 or something,
Right.
or whatever it may be. So they do exist. A lot of bookmakers know about them. A lot of the sites years ago used to take those bets, but it's tough to get them. Most places don't let you bet them on the first half. But I would just maybe you could do a Google search and look at some the numbers you should actually look for there too. If you can bet them, you can actually bet them blindly. Sometimes. So if you can go over that 21, go over minus 21 and over 30, absolutely do it blindly every week.
I love it.
Yeah.
There it is. Words of wisdom from the Crack Man.
Yeah, we'll get some more tips next week. We'll talk about some other stuff.
So it's that time.
We're gonna have Derek Stevens on.
I love it. I wasn't sure if you were going to say it.
No, I'm going to say it. We're going to have Derek Stevens come on. I talked to him this morning, and he's going to come on. We're going to see if we can get him in studio, or we can go to his studio, or we can just do it Zoom, depending if I'm not going to be here. So
Derek Stevens, for the handful that don't know, owns Circa Casino and the D Casino here in Vegas, both of them downtown. But he has really, I would say this
and
to
Golden
him
Gate,
too.
3 casinos.
And Golden Gate.
Yep.
To me, there's only been a handful of guys that have changed Las Vegas. Steve Wynn is the obvious one. I'd actually say that Peter Morton opening the Hard Rock kind of changed a little bit, made more fun.
You're right.
And Derek Stevens,
he's an accepted member of the Old Boys Club too.
100%.
Like the Michael Gawns, they have adapted and they have welcomed a guy like Derek. So Derek's in there, very powerful guy in Las Vegas. Look forward to having him on.
Can't wait, man.
All right.
We'll see you next week, and we'll see all of you
guys
next week.